Friday, St. Louis was supposed to be the gateway for Cinderella. There were two here, Oklahoma and Miami. But when Michigan State slammed the Sooners, was the slipper saved for Wally Szczerbiak and his Red Hawks? Hardly. The Wildcat wrecking crew shattered that dream too. Cinderella was gone. Only the strongest had survived. The Spartans, with their unwavering confidence, drawing magical comparisons to 1979. And Tom Izzo knows it. While Kentucky's three seniors are just as resolute in focus and purpose. A salute to their championship tradition. The look says it all. No one will settle for anything less than the final spot at the Final Four. St. Louis will indeed provide the final piece of the puzzle. Who will be the final team to qualify for St. Petersburg and next week's Final Four? Will it be Kentucky, the national champions of a year ago, or the Michigan State Spartans? Already, Ohio State, Connecticut, and Duke have qualified, and one remains. One spot left open. Michigan State and Kentucky coming up here in St. Louis. Jim Nance with Billy Packer and Bonnie Bernstein with us as well. And Billy, this Kentucky team, as Scott Padgett said, it's March, and our biological calendars have clicked in. They're playing their best ball of the season, but Michigan State has an all-time school win streak of 21 in a row. What's going to give here?
Jim, in the NCAA tournament, you see so many games of contrast, but not today. We've got great point guards on both teams. We have tremendous bench strength. We have outstanding rebounding. The one thing is that Kentucky's been there before. Michigan State's going to have to prove they can knock off the champ.
And what floor leadership we have at the point today on both sides. But how about Mateen Cleaves, the Big Ten Player of the Year?
Well, he is so strong, a great penetrator. We have two outstanding point guards. Neither one shoot the ball too well, and that could be interesting today to watch that matchup. But Cleaves is a tremendous leader. Now, you talk about leadership and senior. We're talking about Scott Padgett. Twice he has been all Final Four, scored 17 in the championship games the last 2 years. He knows how to pick it up in the big games. He certainly can be expected for that leadership again today.
And there's Tubby Smith. He began the 90s as a Kentucky assistant under Rick Pitino. He'd like to close the 90s with back-to-back championships. Padgett and Bradley and Evans on the front court. In the back court, Wayne Turner, Mr. March, along with Desmond Allison, a freshman from Tampa, who'd like to go home for the Final Four. Tom Izzo, second season, actually 4 overall, 4 seasons, and a year ago he was the National Coach of the Year. Jason Klein, Andre Hudson, Antonio Smith, with the backcourt of Cleaves and Charlie Bell. And let's check in quickly with Bonnie.
All right, Jim, a couple minutes before the game, touch base with Spartans coach Tom Izzo, and he said he's not so much concerned about Kentucky's depth as he is their size. A couple things to look for to counter that. First of all, look for reserve forward Morris Peterson to play more at the 2-guard or shooting guard position today. Also, look for the Spartans to try to get Scott Padgett to foul early. Obviously, the Cats aren't as good of a team when Padgett isn't on the floor. They know that if he gets a couple fouls early, Tubby Smith will sit him. Jim?
Well, the Kentucky Wildcats. The road to the regional final began with a win over New Mexico State. That was a tie game at the half. And then the thriller, some have said the game of the tournament thus far, the overtime win against Kansas with Padgett nailing the big shot. And the victory against Miami here on Friday night. For Michigan State, the 1 seed, Mount St. Mary's, Ole Miss, that was a struggle. They were down with 3.5 to play, and Oklahoma. Now, the Spartans say they have to be careful here. We don't want to play the jersey. It can be intimidating. Look at the lettering, Kentucky. We want to go against the play the players. That's what they're saying. Klein starts it out way short, but follows it up with a rebound.
Jason Klein is a real key in this ball game for Michigan State. It's good to see him take a positive shot right away because he has not been shooting well in the tournament.
How about this matchup at the point, Billy?
Oh, that's just tremendous. Both can guard each other. Turner not as strong, but he's got the long wingspan. Great defensive balance when he plays, and this is going to be some matchup. Gets the switch on the screen.
Bounces it over. Tough pass, but it got there. Hudson misses. He follows it up, and Evans clears for Kentucky. They had 3 chances on their first possession.
But Michigan State showing what they do so well, and that is get on the rebounding glass.
Which team is the better rebounding team today, you think? Evans rattles home a 2, they say.
On the season, Michigan State has been outstanding, but it's not like Kentucky's far behind. Michigan State, #2 team in the nation in regard to rebounding differential at 9.7 a game. Kentucky right in there at 6-3, so they've been solid off the boards as well.
Kentucky's out-rebounded opponents in the tournament by 10 boards a game. Hudson back out to Cleaves, gets Ellison to commit, into Hudson.
Jim, I've said it time and time again, neither of these guards, in either case should you rush out on them. Make them shoot the outside shot early in the game. Allison went for the pump fake and created the mismatch inside. That's a steps.
Yep, Bradley backing in on Hudson. He traveled.
You wonder why time and time again guys rush out at the likes of a Cleaves or a Turner when you got to let them shoot the jump shot, because they can penetrate. They don't want the jump shot. Full court pickup here by Kentucky. Man-to-man pressure. This is a tough guy to press right here.
Although Cleaves turns it over, and he's had 6 turnovers in each of the last 2 games.
I'm surprised he took the ball that low. Normally you want to stop. If you don't have a play, stop around the foul line and bring it back out. He took it all the way to the baseline, and Allison, with his strength, was able to give him a little shove. This is an interesting matchup. Smith on Paget.
You thought it might be Hudson on Paget.
Yeah, I thought so. This takes Smith away from the basket. I think he'd be better off down inside.
Allison with the layup, assisted by Turner. Ahead to Bell, and Hudson intercepted it from his own teammate.
If Hudson didn't realize Bell was ahead of him, Bell would have had a layup. We know Mateen loves to throw that lead pass with that right hand. So good at it.
Bell drives, gives Hudson in and out.
Second time Hudson has missed one from 3 inches.
Tough pass, and Smith read it all the way.
Well, Allison had the cutter behind, but you can't thread it right into a Michigan State player's hands. And you notice down the other end, it is Paget on Hudson and Bradley going to play in Smith, so a more natural matchup.
Line, his second try of the game, again short. And Smith hit by Evans.
This Michigan State team is some kind of rebounding basketball team off the offensive end.
Kentucky foul at number 14.
And Jim, I mentioned about the situation where they've got to get Klein doing something. He was 1 for 5 against Mississippi, 1 for 5 against Oklahoma. And he has got to put some points on from the perimeter.
Wants to dribble and touched it last. Kentucky ball.
And we're going to see Peterson come in for Klein right off the bat. This is Tom Izzo cannot wait in a game like this for Klein to get on track. Got hit in the eye here a little bit, but even besides that, I think Tom Izzo was ready to yank him.
So Morris Peterson, the leading scorer for the Spartans, comes in.
Now this makes Michigan State a tougher team to defend, because Peterson all Big Ten, even though he's the so-called 6th man, but it does take away a little bit of the depth, and you know it's got to shake Klein's confidence. Little 1-4 set now by Kentucky. Paget's got to find the ball somehow to make Smith play.
Hashimu followed up by Bradley and touched last by Michigan State. Michigan State 32-4 on the year. Their first appearance in the Elite 8 since 1979 when they went on to win the championship in Salt Lake City. Kentucky eyeing a 4th straight trip to the Final Four. They've been in the last 3 championship games, winning 2 of them. Only a loss to Arizona in the '97 final for a three-peat. Allison, baseline, over to Evans, 2.
Once again, running at men that aren't wanting to take the jump shots.
Bell blocked by Paget, and they say a charge. Bradley held his ground.
Terrific job by Bradley to hustle back down court. Bell had the seam. Charlie Bell goes down inside, and there you see Bradley there. Paget was on top of the ball. Bell said something I thought was great right out of a page of Ric Flair. He said, to be the best, you've got to beat the best. You know, that's exactly what this game is all about.
That wrestling analogy was used quite a bit yesterday when these teams talked to the nation's press. In fact, Paget said if he had to pick one wrestler that really embodied Michigan State, as we see Evans knocked down a 3, he said they remind me if I had to pick a wrestler to compare Michigan State to, it would be Ric Flair, because they wear you down at the end.
You could just see him saying that, couldn't you, in the ring?
Absolutely. A neighbor of yours, no less.
That's right. Again, they're backing off Cleves, and that's what you've got to do to him early in the ball game. Another great offensive rebound.
Peterson under the basket frees himself for 2.
Peterson's so consistent.
Evans back out. Turner gives it up. Allison, the freshman, 3-pointer. Paget tip, and Smith clears.
Smith, one of those wide bodies at 265 pounds.
Bell had a man open underneath. Bypass the lob, and Evans with the 2-on-1 over to Turner for 2.
If you're going to break and Bell finds himself as a guard, that leaves only one man back. Kentucky really loves to break, particularly Evans, Paget, Allison can get all on it. Bell has got to understand if he's going inside, there needs to be a rotation. Much more of an up-tempo game, Jim. More scoring than I expected early.
Cleves, tough shot, tipped away, and Bradley has it for Kentucky.
And
Evans drives right past Bell. Good night.
there is that experience, Jim. It just seems like they belong in Final Fours, and Evans knows how to get there.
Michigan State with its largest deficit of the tournament. The Spartans are down 9 in the first 5.5. Well, Kentucky came to St. Louis this week for the first time since 1978 and the Final Four. And Kentucky met Duke in the championship game. Jack Givens, what a performance. 41 points in the final as Kentucky won its 5th national championship, 94-88 over Duke.
Well, it was one of the great shooting performances, and those who watched that scene closely, Jack even banked one off the side of the backboard that went in. Jim, what's interesting about 78, Kentucky beat Miami in the regional
as they did here,
and then they beat Magic Johnson's freshman club. Kyle Macy had an outstanding game. I remember broadcasting that game, and they beat Michigan State in the regional final. And then they went on, of course, to play so well in the Final Four, capped off with that win over Duke.
There is some symmetry, no doubt, between the 78.
That was in St. Louis
and
as well.
All was here. Yep. Well, that was Dayton where they beat Michigan State in the regional final.
The final game was in St. Louis.
At the Checker Dome, which no longer exists here in St. Louis. But it is an interesting path that they're trying to travel one more time. Kelly, the senior, gives it up. Cleves in traffic, loses it. McGlure on the floor, and a tie-up. Wildcats have the arrow. Will they say there was a change of possession?
Now, kind of interesting, and we'll see if Tubby's going to change that. Oh, he's going to the arrow. Nobody had possession. They're saying no one had possession, so he's going to the arrow.
And there is a timeout on the floor. Moo Evans with 9 points here at the start, and the Kentucky starters ablaze early.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship is sponsored by Oldsmobile, Budweiser, Xerox, and by Nike.
Back at the Trans World Dome, Jim Nance, Billy Packer, and Bonnie Bernstein here. Regional final, last piece of the puzzle.
Jim, you have to think back to the Northwestern game in the opening round of the Big Ten tournament where Michigan got themselves in a tight situation. Since that time, they've been in pretty solid shape. They've got to be very careful here to do the things they do well. Get the ball up on the glass, have the right guy shooting, rebound offensively, as they did right here.
Yeah, well, look at Prince, the freshman, knock it out, and off the hands of Peterson.
And you can see McGlure already starting to try his talking deal with Smith. I don't think it's going to work with a guy like Smith, who's just too much of a competitor. But Tubby Smith going to what he's done so well in the postseason. Brings in 5 guys off the bench, and they have really been successful.
These teams both loaded with depth, and there's McGlure with the left hook. McGlure on the floor with Kamar, Hogan, Smith, and Tayshaun Prince, the second 5 at Kentucky.
McGlure kind of like Johnson from Ohio State yesterday, picking up his offensive game in the tournament.
Peterson, it rattles out. Hogan's underneath.
Good blocking out by Kentucky on that play.
Smith inside. Kamar, he had a strong game Friday.
Now this philosophy of substituting this way gives so much confidence to these players. You know, they don't come in as if they're subs off the bench. They come in like they're a starting lineup, and everything is very positive. Kentucky doesn't miss a beat when they're in there.
Hogan in the lane, comes up shy, but gets his own miss, and bangs it home for 2. Ryan Hogan.
Izzo's in serious trouble here, Jim. This game could get away from him early. I think he's got to think about timeout if they don't score here and settle this crowd down.
Boy, this score reminds an awful lot of Michigan State against Duke back in early December when they were down 21-4 to the Blue Devils. Here it's 17-4. Kelly up and over Kamara.
Terrific job by Kelly because he had to alter the shot. Kamara, who's listed at 6'10", plays 7 foot. His long arms, he's got good timing. McGlure's got inside position again.
This time with the right hook. No go, and Spartan ball.
Now, Jim, you cannot play McGlure from behind. He does not have good hands in the low post. So he's the kind of guy you play in front and let them try to make tough passes to him because he's not going to catch it as well. You give him that low post position and he does the things he can do well. Dangerous pass.
Up play, and Saul Smith bumped Davis with the body. Otherwise, it might have been an easy 2 for Kentucky. For complete tournament coverage, live scores, stats, and more, check out Tournament Live only at cbs.sportsline.com or on America Online. Enter keyword CBS Sportsline. So we bring back Padgett and Turner for the Kentucky Cats.
Nobody guarding the man taking the ball out of bounds, so Michigan State needs a screen here. Davis getting a lot of early action, trying to rest Cleaves, get his second win. McGlure doing talking and defensing at the same time.
Klein, pull-up jumper.
Klein got hit on the arm that time. And again, when you're lacking some confidence, every shot becomes more and more critical to you.
Kentucky 62% from the field, up 11.
Guess I'll have the steak.
The new Saturn Coupe has better pickup than a Maserati. After a Little League game, anyway. The world's first 3-door coupe from Saturn. Why didn't anyone think of this before?
Stock market was mixed today with pharmaceutical companies.
Pinzec's up 18.
Technology stock.
Something's going on.
Some on Wall
You guys investors? Can you get us some peanuts or something?
You ever use that Discover brokerage online?
Nuts?
In other news, bartender Jack McGee purchased the Pinzac Company in a deal worth $43 billion. McGee says he has no plans to quit bartending, but will continue
No charge for the nuts.
financial empire, which includes...
Stuck with a flat tire? Not with this tire. Even with no air pressure, you drive to safety. Aqua Steel Run Flat. Don't get stuck. Get there.
Good year, good year.
Even though the jury said she wasn't guilty of murder, the Child Welfare Agency said she was. What's that all about? 60 Minutes tonight.
Michigan State trails in this one, but trying to become the second Big Ten team to advance to the Final Four. And the report card here, Billy, on the Buckeyes.
Well, backcourt brilliance. Anybody who saw that game yesterday saw Penn and Red. They were just outstanding. Rebounding could be Achilles' heel. Scotty Penn, one of their outstanding rebounders, and particularly when you consider who else is in the Final Four so far, and the lack, obviously, of big game experience. The last time that Ohio State was in the Final Four, none of the kids on this basketball team were even born.
1968.
68, exactly.
So their first trip since 68, while UConn's first trip ever.
They were kind of a permanent fixture in the early 60s with Jerry Lucas and company, going to 3 straight Final Fours. But it's been quite a drought since.
Hats off to Jim O'Brien. What a story.
Evans.
7 on the shot clock. Evans with the right hand, followed up by Bradley.
Kentucky just being dominant on the boards here. Granger was hot and continues from the outside. Had a sensational first half just the other day against Oklahoma, where he ended up 4 for 5, 10.7 rebounds.
Back to Bradley. Oh, not this time. Tipped up by Padgett. Bradley on the previous follow-up slam. That was his first made field goal since the opening half of game 1 of this tournament, New Mexico State.
And Bradley has really been in a drought, Jim. 3 points the game previously, none in the ball game the other night.
Granger again, 3-pointer. Look at this man, A.J. Granger, junior from Findlay, Ohio.
Well, let's say something. You know, only one team has outscored the Michigan State bench this year. That was a game that Iowa played, so this bench has been very productive.
Evans, he's drilling it today. That's a 3 at the other end.
Memories of the Maryland game. Evans just sensational. Been at Kentucky now, 3 years of eligibility, played under 3 different coaches. Although recruited by, actually he recruited Rick Pitino. So he's played for 3 coaches and never got a chance to play for Rick.
He got to practice with that 97 team that went to the final and had a huge role off the bench last year in helping the Cats to the title, the 7th in school history.
Good pick and roll.
Smith banks bodies, and they'll call it on Padgett. Duke by 21 to head to the Final Four with only 1 loss. That to Cincinnati. Duke beat both of these teams on the floor right now. They beat Kentucky by 11 and Michigan State by 6. Mentioned it earlier. They led Michigan State 21-4 at the top of that game before the Spartans crawled within 3, only to drop it by 6.
Jim, that's the second time that Duke has upset John Chaney's bid to get into the Final Four. And back in 1988, the great game by Billy King, guarding Mark Macon, shutting him down. Danny Ferry's club went to the Final Four, losing to Kansas.
Andre Hudson returns for Smith.
It looks like Granger getting some instructions out there, and probably those instructions are just keep lighting it up.
Yeah, you take Granger, who comes in from off the bench and knock down a couple of threes, take him away. The Michigan State starters have made only 1 out of 10 shots.
Cleve's back in the ball game now. Had a chance to watch what's going on out there. Let's see how he settles down his club on the offensive end. Evans is becoming the toughest matchup, and he really wants the ball.
Allison, last minute over to Padgett on the wing for the 3, and it spins out. Last touch by Michigan State's Bell.
Now that's the second time in this game that Hudson and Bell have gotten messed up. Remember, Jim, on that long pass, Hudson intercepted Bell. That time Bell had the easy rebound. Hudson came over his back. Needs to be a little bit of communication there. Michigan State drops back in his zone in this out-of-bounds situation. I think a good defense against this basketball team right now. So Kentucky proves they've got somebody other than Padgett can make a jump shot.
Evans doing it all. Back to Allison, short in the lane, but back out to Turner. A long Kentucky trip. Will it result in points?
Oh, Padgett wanted the ball back.
There, he got it. And he's hammered by Peterson.
You know, Padgett was really disappointed because he made a great cut down through the zone and didn't get the ball. You see it right here. Great pass pass by Turner. Hey, when you've played with a guy as many games, as many hours as those two have, you know exactly where he is and when he's open. He didn't need to holler or hold up his hands. Turner just felt him there.
Scott Padgett, who yesterday was asked what was his most prized memory, or what will be, of his Kentucky career, and he says hasn't happened yet. It will be his degree when he receives it in May. There's his father, Wilbur. He instilled in his son that love of Kentucky basketball. Scott said he was always confident he could play ball, but he thought that freshman year the college work was just impossible. And once he got the handle on it, he's been Dean's List and will graduate in May. Dean's List several times.
Padgett's amazing. He's shooting 68% on the year for the foul line, but in the NCAA tournament, he has a chance to move right up there with one of the all-time leaders, Christian Laettner, and Bill Bradley, who's the all-time greatest free throw shooter in NCAA tournament history.
He had
90%.
He had to make 2 free throws to qualify statistically, and he just did it.
Yep.
Bradley, all-time number 1, 90% in the tournament. Hudson, fade away. Nice shot. Yeah, so Padgett's into the top 5 all time. He's behind Bradley, but he's ahead of Christian Laettner.
You know, Hudson is becoming a major scorer in this postseason play, where Peterson has fallen back some.
Oh, and away from the ball. McGlure is called for it. Monday on CBS, find out why TV Guide is calling it the best season yet for Everybody Loves Raymond. Monday night's #1 comedy, Everybody Loves Raymond, right here on CBS. It's the first on McGlure.
I think it'd be a good time right now to go to Antonio Smith down inside. McGlure's got a foul. Get Smith some touches. He hasn't had many offensive looks the last couple of games.
Peterson, leaner for 2.
Uh-oh, who's the foul? Did McGlure get to Smith?
They're going to call it on Peterson. No, not on Peterson. Hold on a minute here.
Watch this. Here's what I've been talking about. McGlure talking, pushing in there. He might have gotten to Smith some.
Smith is called for it, Billy.
Foolish foul by a senior.
Padgett and the Cats get a little cozy, and they lead by 8.
Why do I rent from Enterprise? Very simple. No stress.
We'll be happy to
They arrange to pick me up free, so I don't have to ask anyone for a ride. See? No stress.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
When you had the idea, you were just a kid. But lately you've had to buy into some pretty adult stuff. Like strategies for attracting and retaining the best employees and maximizing shareholder value. At Arthur Andersen, we help people make those kinds of decisions, which lets them concentrate on things like transforming complex three-dimensional objects into simple digital data. You know, kid stuff. Arthur Andersen, helping in ways you never imagined.
Hey, let's talk New York. Let's talk big. Like the new Big New Yorker from Pizza Hut. It's a genuine street corner 16-inch New York-style pizza with 8 big floppy foldable slices that's really, really good. At a price that's very un-New York, $9.99. The Big New Yorker pizza from Pizza Hut.
Announcing the most exciting promotion in Buick history. We're giving away up to 45 new Buicks in 45 days. 45 Buicks with real power, real comfort, and real style. Simply click on win.buick.com or call toll-free 1-877-WIN-A-CAR and you've got a chance to win. Play to win one today. Or buy a new Buick with low 2.9% APR financing. Or get cash allowances up to $2,000. Hurry, click on Buick and you could win.
We have new facts about a nationwide conspiracy. Its members are profoundly happy. They're not forced to stay, but once they join, they never want to leave. Here's their latest recruitment effort.
Now buy a DirecTV system and get free installation, plus 3 free months of programming, with no long-term commitments. So hurry, sign up today.
Someday we will all be one of them. Who are these people?
DirecTV. What are you looking at?
Hashimu Evans with 12 points, and Mateen Cleaves has not scored. 2 tries from the field. It's been as big a lead as 13 for the Wildcats, down to 8.
Jim, one of the things that Evans is such an explosive scorer, but I think we're going to see Michigan State go to a little bit more zone defense, try to get themselves back in a situation to get on the boards and force Kentucky to shoot from the outside a little bit. Evans's penetration has been outstanding. And with the team that's on the floor right now, Prince a decent outside shooter. Pageant is as well, but Michigan State comes back out in that man-to-man defense. So far, Kentucky has really been able to take advantage of it. There they've got Bell on Pageant. Pageant too big for him.
Pageant with the fake, the ball fake, but Peterson almost stripped it. And it leads to a Michigan State takeaway. Michigan State's only losses this year to Temple, which made it to the Final 8. Duke and UConn, which are all set now for the Final 4, and Wisconsin. 32-4.
Jim, Antonio Smith only had one shot in the ball game against Oklahoma. They need to get him the ball some down in low.
Peterson over the top of Evans. It's a 2.
If they get the ball down in low, that can open up some things for the likes of Peterson and Bell. Good comeback by Michigan State. Evans wanted to set some back screens. Prince didn't come off.
The first spurt of the game for the Spartans, a 6-point run.
They're giving McGlure an opportunity to handle the ball inside.
Turner way short. And last touch by Michigan State. Third time they fumbled it under the basket.
New 35-second shot clock as well because it touched Michigan State.
Michael Bradley returns for McGlure. Kentucky approaching 4 minutes without a field goal. Misfiring on their last 5.
Bradley hasn't been able to get into the offensive maneuver as well. He was a real scoring threat halfway through the season. There he is open inside.
Bradley snaps it over to Pageant. Right back over to Turner. Regains control of it. Back out high. Look at this passing. 3-point shot. Back of the rim. Spartans chase it down.
Smith now over 1,000 rebounds in his career.
That only trails 2 guys there, right. Billy. All time in Michigan State history. Greg Kelser and Johnny Green.
Jumping Johnny Green, 1957, led Michigan State Spartans to the Final 4, losing in 3 overtimes to North Carolina. One of the great leapers in college basketball history. Only about 6'5".
5 on the shot clock underneath. Hudson and 1.
As weak side helped that time by Pageant, but Evans did not drop down to fill in the space.
That's the second on Evans. This team was down 17-4.
Jim, we'll see what happens right here. Pageant comes over, but Evans has to drop back down and fill.
Thumbs up, says Wayne Turner.
Please.
Hey, us too, says Mateen. Hey, they know what that means.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's not like teams don't scout each other.
Hudson made his last 6 attempts against Oklahoma. Completes the 3-point play. So it's a 9-point run for the Spartans as Saul Smith replaces Evans to the bench with 2 personals.
Klein, who'd been almost a 10-point per game scorer, has really dropped off. Hudson, who was at 8'6", has moved up. So kind of a standoff there. Don't want Turner to get that close to the basket.
Too strong with the shot.
Smith, one of those guys, has a nose for the ball. Boy, he just goes for rebounds.
Cleves got caught for a moment. Smith comes back out with it.
Nice decision by Smith. He was off balance for the shot.
Switch off. Cleves will take the jumper. And Pageant has it for Kentucky.
That hits Smith's toe.
And it's Kentucky ball.
Absolutely brilliant play by Saul Smith chasing that down. And Antonio showing some real speed himself. You're talking about a 265-pounder here. Actually weighs less than one of his brothers, who's an NFL football player at 290. But good job by Saul Smith chasing it down.
Is that? It would have cut the lead to 1. Yeah, he has 2 brothers. One, Fernando, plays in the NFL. Fernando Smith, the brother of Antonio, and Robert, who's a defensive end at Michigan State. So there's a little size in that family.
I guarantee you, nobody picked in that neighborhood on that family. When they said, boys, let's get the neighborhood quiet, I guarantee it got quiet.
And there were some second helpings, too, at the table. Saul Smith, three-pointer, short. Prince, yes, throws it in. That breaks a 6-minute drought.
Kind of interesting. Tubby's changed his lineup here from what he's been doing, and there's what Cleves and Turner do so well. They can take the ball to the hoop and create. Cleves anticipating the pass out, was ready to step out for a steal. Here we've got that second unit in now. But the one thing that Kentucky is not going to be able to do against Michigan State is wear them down, because Michigan State's bench is productive too.
7 on the shot clock. Kamara out high with the pick. Smith needs some help.
Great job by Antonio Smith. He got caught in the mismatch and stayed right with a guard.
Boo Evans leads all scorers with 12, but the Kentucky 13-point lead is down to 3.
It's a tough world. Now there's one exciting car actually designed to take it. The Pontiac Grand Am. With its solid form design, it's the most solid Grand Am ever built. Excitement, well built Grand Am by Pontiac.
I want to be the first Mexican-American president of the United States.
Jose Luis Baca is a 13-year-old from Maxwell Middle School. He's researching a term paper about Pancho Villa that he'll write with Microsoft Word.
You got to look at your culture to understand who you really are.
Technology is giving Jose a way to study his heroes, and maybe someday he can become one himself.
Edgar and I have so much in common. It's like we were long-lost brothers.
We both have larger than average ears.
We both have pretty straight hair.
It's creepy.
And get this, we both love the taste of Miller Lite because of the choice hops. It's like we were separated at birth.
Actually, George, I think Miller Lite tastes great because it's smooth.
Excuse me?
I like the smoothness.
Who are you?
Miller Lite, the great taste of a true Pilsner beer.
I almost lost the entire backyard to crabgrass, and I vowed that would never happen again. The following year, I did use Turf Builder plus Halts. It not only got rid of the crabgrass, but it also greened up the lawn and thickened it. I'm proud of the results that I get from Scott's, and there will be no crabgrass.
Introducing delivery confirmation for Priority Mail. Now, what's your priority?
The cops of the Turk family all have one thing in common.
He damn near got himself killed.
A love for living on the edge. Turks, all new, CBS Thursday.
With Bonnie Bernstein and Billy Packer, Jim Nance from St. Louis. We discussed earlier Ohio State's season and the report card. They're advancing to the Final Four to take on the UConn Huskies. And what about the Huskies report card, Billy?
Well, this is a very well-balanced team. They have explosive scoring. Even though Elamine yesterday was 0 for 12, you know that he can light it up. They really have no Final Four experience, and that could cost them a little bit, maybe the excitement of getting there. And points off the bench, they can come off with some explosive scores as well. So very well-balanced team. Connecticut's tough out for anybody.
Connecticut versus Ohio State all set. It'll be Duke against the winner of this game in St. Petersburg next Saturday.
Let's see Kentucky. They drop back to the 2-3 zone now. Peterson's a guy to be looking for here. They've got Klein and Peterson on the elbows. It's not like Granger's not a pretty good shooter too, so this should match up well against this defense.
Well, they double-teamed Granger the minute he touched it. 5 on the shot clock. Klein must do something.
He didn't want to take the shot.
The heave from Cleves and back out to him.
What they ought to do against this particular defense is put somebody on the foul line right in the middle and get the ball in the middle and then out to the opposite side.
Jason Klein can tie it.
Just
still ice cold. Yep, ice cold.
And Tom Izzo walks down the other end of the bench and just turns his head. He's got to have some points out of Klein in a game like this.
Klein 0 for 4 from the field.
Boy, McGlure just bodying on the inside and beats Granger with power.
Before the shot, Granger whistled for it. Coming up, Pennzoil at the half, Greg and Clark, along with Coach Majerus. And we'll get you caught up on all the tournament news, plus a conversation with Final Four bound Ohio State coach Jim O'Brien. All coming up on Pennzoil at the half.
Jim, we're playing in the Dome, and Kentucky has won 6 straight in the Dome. I mean, 17 straight overall, all 6 of their games. The SEC tournament was played in the Georgia Dome, then they were down the Superdome for 2, and back here, so they sure don't mind the depth perception with their shooting.
Prince.
Example.
There's a 3. Yes, overall, Billy, you said it. 17 straight Dome wins. Scott Padgett asked him about that yesterday, and he said he thinks it's not so much the atmosphere, it's the fact that Kentucky has such a huge throng of supporters, and they can always have more Kentucky fans in a Dome than anybody else.
Could have a big factor.
Yeah, it really feels like a home game because Kentucky does travel. So the 3 by Prince ups the lead to 6. You look at the tournament summary, the Big Ten with a 12-5 record, certainly deserving, as it appears now, Billy, the 7 spots.
Yeah, absolutely.
What conference had the best win percentage in this year's tournament? The West Coast Conference with Gonzaga 3-1, 75% win percentage.
You know, I'd say something about that team, Jim. I hadn't seen them all year until obviously this NCAA tournament. After watching them yesterday, they were not an upset team. That was not a Cinderella basketball team. That team could play on this court or any other court with any other team in the United States. I mean, a really high caliber basketball team.
Magnificent run enjoyed by all by the Gonzaga Bulldogs to the final 8. Final 1:45 of the half. Peterson on the drive and a block on McGlure, who bounces to his feet. Can't believe it. Let's check the CBS Sportsline stat to this point. And offensive rebounds, Kentucky with more second chances than Michigan State. We've got complete tournament coverage at cbs.sportsline.com. Morris Peterson to shoot 2.
All Big Ten first team, but accepted a role on this team as being a 6th man.
I kind of felt for him yesterday because they limit the access to the players and coaches on that day between the semifinal and the final here at the regionals. And they brought up for Michigan State all 5 starters, but not Morris Peterson, and he's all Big Ten and a starter. So not recognized as one of the 5 yesterday even. He operates quietly and efficiently.
Well, I don't think that's the kind of thing that would knock him off stride. He's already accepted. He knows what he's accomplished. This is where that ball needs to spend more time. Down in Smith's hands to force the Kentucky defense to collapse a little bit.
Granger for a 3rd time today. A.J. Granger.
Boy, and Tom Izzo can be so happy with that young man because he's picked up the slack where Klein has fallen off. And he looks so positive with that jump shot, doesn't he?
He does. He is the Spartan star of the first half with 9. Reach around called on Klein.
Say something about Granger, too. His biggest point production on the year was the day after he learned that his father had had that horrible accident, surfing accident in Hawaii. He came back and had his biggest point production of the season. So shows the kind of concentration and competitor a young man is.
His father fractured 2 vertebrae while body surfing over in Hawaii. The Spartans were over in a tournament, and there he is. There's Joe Granger. Now you can't get too excited even with his son hitting 3 out of 3 from 3. It's kind of you talk about having to harness your enthusiasm. And Prince for a 2nd time.
Well, he's hit 2 from the outside, and remember that nice curling hook shot he made inside. Tubby Smith is amazing how he manipulates this bench and seems to find answers every game coming off. It was Kamara 2 days ago, and now it's Prince. There's the zone, but still nobody in the center.
Klein at last and knocks it down to 2.
Tom Izzo just looks up at the Lord and says, thank goodness he's hit one. And how important to hit it right before the half so he doesn't have to sit in that locker room wondering when one's ever going to go down.
Shot clock is turned off.
Could be the biggest shot of his career right there to get his confidence restored.
And a 20 called by Tubby.
He loves to do this. Set plays, he's screaming at his club to get over.
While we have a moment, let's check the data bank, Billy. Final 4 appearances in the 1990s. The Cats with 4. And the Big Ten Conference overall with 5.
Well, Jim, let me point out something. If Kentucky were to get to this Final 4 this year, they would tie North Carolina and UCLA with 14 as the 3 schools that have the most Final 4 appearances of anybody in the history of basketball.
Carolina and UCLA lead the way, 14 all-time Final 4 appearances, and the Cats just one behind. They can join them today at the top.
Little Sullivan.
Kamara left open, and Turner spotted him.
Terrible misread by Michigan State.
Cleaves has to fire it. Oh, what a shot to go to the locker room.
He's made 3 this year at the buzzer or thereabouts to go for victories. And how big was that one?
Huge. Cleaves not known for his outside shooting, but can he handle it when the seconds are winding down?
Kid's got so much courage, but it was a big breakdown defensively that set that up for Michigan State. He had a pretty good looking release on this shot. That's the most range we've seen him have in 2 years of watching.
That's the end of the first half. And there's Mateen's mother. Just loving it, as she should. Francis gets a celebratory hug.
What if she's wearing those lucky socks? She says she wears them dirty or clean. And she probably had them on there.
Kentucky leads 36-35 at halftime, and CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship will continue after this message.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship is sponsored by Pontiac Grand Am, Microsoft, the United States Postal Service, and by Scott's Lawn Products.
For over 70 years, our business has been helping generations of families live a better life. With retirement plans, life insurance, consumer loans. We're American General Financial Group. 50,000 men and women, over $100 billion in assets, helping over 12 million people live the life they've imagined. American General Financial Group. Live the life you've imagined.
Every 10 seconds or so, a stop sign goes up somewhere in America. And every 30 seconds, a traffic light goes up. It's as hard on your car as it is on you. It's stop and go. Stop and go. Stop and go driving. Use Pennzoil. Formulated for today's stop and go driving. Stop, go, Pennzoil.
If you're the kind of person who'd rather tune an engine than eat, who reads a tachometer like a love story, or whom the roar of fully blown horsepower is a lullaby, have we got a machine for you. And in the hands of the right mechanic, it'll blow the doors off anything. Aim high, Air Force.
To help you remember 10, 10, 3, 4, 5 long distance, we're here with the number 3, 4, and 5 hitters of a very important major league team. Now, I don't know much about baseball, but I do know that with 10, 10, 3, 4, 5, calls are always 10 cents a minute. No minimum talk time and no monthly fee. I don't want to run your gig, but I don't hit. Oh, well, stick with it. Maybe someday you will. Dial 10, 10, 3, 4, 5, the simple way to save on long distance.
Greg Gumbel in New York coming up on Pennzoil at the half. Clark and Coach Rick Majerus break down the first half of the game, and we'll talk live with Ohio State's Jim O'Brien after this message and a word from your local station.
With its wider track and precise cornering, nothing can contain the White Track Grand Prix, not even your television. Stand by as we adjust your screen. Now you can catch the White Track Grand Prix GT and experience its outstanding cornering and control. Drive it for yourself and see why whiter is better. The White Track Grand Prix by Pontiac. Now you can lease the Grand Prix GT sedan for just $269 a month. See your Pontiac dealer today.
This is a cool way to see the games. Stats, play-by-play, shot charts. I love technology. Tournament live, only at cbs.sportsline.com.
Dave's talking to Norm Macdonald, Monday on CBS.
Done. It's green. It's green. It's green.
The all-new Volkswagen Golf. It's smarter looking, at least.
The corporate thing just didn't work for me. I mean, that's just the politics, but the whole backstabbing, water cooler chit-chat and all that, well, garbage. So one day I'm online and I find Beyond.com. Before you know it, I got a home office and I'm living life on my own terms. With Beyond.com, I can stay at home and order all the software I need for my business, and it can be downloaded or delivered to my door. I'm as free as I want to be. Oh, hi. I think it's a great arrangement.
CBS Sports presents Pennzoil at the Half, sponsored by Pennzoil, specially formulated for today's stop-and-go driving. Stop, go, Pennzoil.
Hi, once again, everyone. I'm Greg Gumbel. Welcome to Pennzoil at the Half. At halftime, we have a one-point game. Kentucky on top of Michigan State, 36-35. I'm joined once again by Clark Kellogg and Utah coach Rick Majerus. Most of the first half of this game seemed to belong to Kentucky, and then all of a sudden, back come the Michigan State Spartans.
Well, early in the half, Kentucky was getting fast break baskets, and they were getting too many easy second shots. They had sometimes 2 and 3 rebound attempts. Michigan State did a good job of addressing that the later part of the half. And then you got to credit Granger. He connects for 3 long balls, and I'll tell you what, now they're back in the game.
Well, when you consider what Michigan State has to do, I think when you look at the second half of this game, both of these teams rely on their perimeter shooting to be the best they can be. The transition game, I think, has to kick into high gear for Michigan State to stay close and have a chance to win it.
All right, we're trying to find out which is going to be the 4th Final Four team. Earlier, Duke qualified to move on with an 85-64 win over Temple, and we'll play the winner of the game that you're watching, Kentucky and Michigan State. Just a reminder, you can chat live with UCLA head coach Steve Lavin this Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Log on to cbs.sportsline.com or on America Online. Simply enter the keyword CBS Sportsline. Yesterday, Ohio State advanced to the Final Four by defeating St. John's to win the South Regional. Early this morning, the Buckeyes returned home to Columbus, where they were greeted by an ecstatic gathering of fans. Ohio State will face UConn in one of the national semifinals on Saturday, and we are now joined by the Buckeyes head coach Jim O'Brien. Coach, first and foremost, congratulations to you. You jumped from an 8-22 season to the Final Four, and I know people across the country are wondering how did this happen. Are you sitting there wondering how this happened?
Yes, I am, quite frankly, Greg. It's been a remarkable season for us, you know, coming off of a very difficult season a year ago. My humble expectations were for us to possibly just win more than we would lose, to show some pretty good progress. But it's a real credit to the kids on our team for staying with us all year long. We just started to get better and better and win some games, and here we are. We find ourselves in a great position.
Jim, I wanted to talk a little bit about Ken Johnson. All season long, he's been a pretty consistent presence for you defensively. Was there a concentrated effort, seeing that he had a size advantage against St. John's inside people, to really try to get him off offensively?
Well, Clark, as you know, he's been getting progressively better and better. Even from a year ago, he was somebody we really didn't have a lot of confidence in throwing the ball to. Yesterday, we threw the ball into him, and he just seemed comfortable around the basket offensively. We knew that he got off to a great start, blocking a couple of shots. It seemed like he was playing with a lot of confidence and a lot of energy early. And when we first threw the ball into him, he made a basket. We threw it into him again. He missed the shot, but it was right on the rim. He really seemed comfortable in everything he was doing. And then we really felt when Grant went out, then our test was on him that he had a decided advantage height-wise, and he was just putting the ball in the basket. So we kept trying to go to him a little bit more than we typically did.
Jim, how do you expect to play UConn, and do you have anything specific in mind relative to defending Richard Hamilton?
Well, not really, Rick. I think, you know, from my experiences with Connecticut, quite frankly, that haven't all been very good. The thing that you have to do with them is you have to get back defensively. The two things with them is you can't turn the ball over. I think they do a very good job in their pressure with their defense, but you must get back in transition. They remind me an awful lot like Michigan State, because Michigan State is somebody that we had to deal with getting back in transition. Connecticut is great in going from defense to offense in a hurry.
Jim, we don't know, and this is a two-part question, we don't know if MTV knows anything about you, but the question is, how long have you been doing this little post-game dance, and did you learn your steps from Rick Majerus at all?
No, no. You can learn an awful lot from Rick. Dancing is not one of them. But, you know, sometimes we do the craziest things. I just hope that I didn't embarrass my daughters too much, but these guys on our team have been trying to get me to do the dirty bird all year long. So I finally broke down and had to give them a little 1-2.
Jim, we thank you for your time, and we will look forward to seeing you in St. Petersburg next Saturday. Thanks very much.
Okay, thanks for having me on.
You bet. Coach Jim O'Brien of Ohio State. Let's quickly set this Saturday's lineup for you. It begins at 4 o'clock Eastern Time with the Final Four show. We'll get you caught up on the latest news and set the stage for the semifinal doubleheader. 5:42, the semifinal between Ohio State and UConn gets underway, followed at about 8:17 by the game between Duke and the winner of the game you're watching, Kentucky or Michigan State. Thanks for watching Pennzoil at the Half. Coming up, the second half of the Midwest Regional Final. We'll send you back to Jim and Billy in St. Louis right after this as you take a look at how Turner and Evans execute a 2-on-1 break.
Pennzoil at the Half has been sponsored by Pennzoil, specially formulated for today's stop-and-go driving. Stop, go, Pennzoil.
Where's Mom taking us?
To buy a copier or printer, maybe both.
Ooh.
Yeah, Mom owns her own business.
That's a very important job.
Yeah, and she's real fussy about getting a good deal. This could take forever.
This'll help.
What's this?
Let's just say it'll make your mom's life a lot easier.
Oh, no.
So many choices.
Jimmy.
Hey! Jimmy! Over here! Mom, look!
Xerox. Digital quality copies, digital reliability. The built-in laser printer, too. $4.49 for Xerox. Wow. Jimmy, how'd you find this?
Oh, some guy in a dress told me.
What?
Jimmy, this is not a dress.
Yeah, right.
Keep the conversation going. Share the knowledge. The Digital Document Company, Xerox.
Security breach, sir. Somehow Johnson's had a pizza delivered.
A delivery boy just waltzed in here?
Fancy crust, toppings? Looks that way, sir.
Find him now.
Where's the delivery boy?
It's not delivery. It's DiGiorno.
The Rising Crust Pizza that bakes up fresh like pizzeria pizza. It's not delivery. It's DiGiorno.
Here, taste.
Monday, after Cosby, it's Doug and Carrie's anniversary, and they're bringing out the good stuff.
Go get me the champagne flutes from the armoire. Okay, skinny glasses, big cabinet.
King of Queens. Then, after a tough day at work, there's nothing like a good rub down. From your mother, everybody loves Raymond. Next, it's Becker on hunting.
Makes you feel more like a man to blow Bambi's head off, knock yourself out.
It all happens CBS Monday.
Kentucky leads by 1, 36-35, out rebounding the Spartans 19-11. CBS Sports coverage of the 1999 NCAA men's basketball tournament will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
I found I was missing all sensation of sight. It was so dark underground, we had seen no light for days. What was visible, how there was the enemy. Like that they were fighting against their better nature.
For those who combine a passion for living with a passion for living. The Volvo C70 convertible.
Thanks for making CBS America's most watched network. Welcome home.
Over the years, a lot of businesses have put their names on one line of trucks. The one that's overall the most powerful line of pickups on the road. The one that was first to offer quad cab versatility. And the first and only full-size pickup to receive J.D. Power & Associates' Most Appealing Award 4 years running. We understand this name thing. We're pretty fussy about what we put ours on, too. Dodge Ram. The rules have changed.
Who called this meeting? I'm out of here.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship is sponsored by Volvo, Pepsi One, Payne Weber, and by Kinko's.
Michigan State has never led in this game, but they've come back from 13 down to within 1.
Pepsi One presents the Virtual Playbook.
Jim, so many times in basketball, people say, well, you know, if I set screens, that's all I'm going to do. I'm never going to score. Here we're going to see Kentucky with great rotation and a step out for the screener. Now watch what happens for Evans right here. He starts this play. He's going to pass and go away, setting a screen for Padgett coming out. Padgett will come out. The ball's going to be reversed. Then Evans, who was the original screener in this play, will step out and be wide open for the shot from outside. Evans had a great first half. Terrific ball rotation by Kentucky.
Kentucky will have the first possession of the second half, led by Moo Evans. In the first 20 minutes, he had 12 points, topping the Cats. 5 assists by Wayne Turner with no turnovers.
Jim, major bench play by both teams. Michigan State 18 of their 35 from the bench. For Kentucky 14 of 36. We thought that would be a standoff, and both of these teams sure did get production, particularly a guy like Granger and Prince.
And Bradley pushed out of the way by Hudson.
Hudson trying to set the screen, moved him out with his lower body.
Yeah, Granger and Prince had very similar numbers in the first half, both 3 for 3 from the field. Granger all 3 from behind the arc for 9. Prince made 2 of them from back there for 8.
Bradley just not getting the offensive production he had at midseason. He's wide open on side.
Allison found him and he lays it in.
Just exactly what Coach Izzo said to Bonnie. Some real breakdowns in communication defensively have allowed wide open shots for Kentucky. Let's see if Klein on his first jump shot in the second half gains some confidence by the one he made.
Hudson bounces out and Evans underneath clears.
That is the 3rd time today Hudson has missed one from right at the rim. Huge baskets in a game like this that's so hotly contested.
And a reach around on Bell. He held him.
I'm really surprised that Michigan State, here we see Smith trying to save it. Evans getting things started, and there is the breakdown, because what happened is Smith went to the corner to save the ball. Nobody picked up in his man. Matching up in this zone.
Has it on the blocks, works it in.
Oh, Smith kept it alive. Beautiful job on his part.
Gets the outlet to Cleaves. To the right side to Bell. Off the glass for two. Beautiful. Charlie Bell, his first 2 points of the game.
Really good job by being under control by Bell. But how about Smith? He's not a great leaper, but he uses that body and his timing so well, and actually kept that ball alive on the second tip. A lot of switching now by Michigan State, and that's what got them in some trouble. They haven't been communicating very well on the switches.
Allison flying on the back of him. And one.
Solid young man since he's got into this starting lineup. Doesn't have big numbers. Doesn't make a lot of mistakes. Plays a very smart ball game. Here he is coming to meet the pass. Good drop step down in his side. Realized he had the advantage in position and put it up.
It's the third on Klein. Allison pump faking once, and he'll have a chance for a three-point play. What an athlete at Robinson High School in Tampa, where he averaged 34 points a game in basketball. Played on the track, or competed for the track team, where he ran a 5-minute mile and anchored their 1600 relay team all the way to the state finals. He was at the Tropicana Field Regional last year, cheering for Kentucky, having already signed with the Cats. And now he could go there in uniform next week.
And here we see Kentucky picking up full court. They want Cleaves to come back and get the ball, but Turner did a terrific job making sure Cleaves wouldn't be part of that.
Tip by Turner, and off Kentucky.
Jim, I remember I mentioned that they are not making Kentucky have to guard the low post area. And you look at the stats in the first half, Smith did not have one single attempt. They have got to make Kentucky be much more honest defensively by getting the ball into him some. Not that he's a prolific scorer, but they're having all their offense started on the perimeter.
Leaves. Tipped up once, and Bell for a second time.
Wow, look at this.
What a battle. They'll call it a tie-up situation. Turner was in there. Peterson for Michigan State. And it's Michigan State's ball. You see the black band on the shoulder of the Wildcats. That's for the lost recruit, John Stewart, who passed away last week as they were competing, in fact, in the first round against New Mexico State on that day. John Stewart, a 7-foot senior in Indiana, had a heart attack, a fatal heart attack during a high school playoff game. Peterson with the basket for Michigan State.
Tubby Smith left here last Thursday to attend his wake and took along a Kentucky uniform for that young man.
He was here, it was Tubby, Thursday for practice, and then along with his wife Donna, they flew to the wake in Indianapolis and presented the family with the Kentucky jersey number 53 he would have worn. Allison on the drive. Evans underneath, comes out with the strong hands.
Over the back. Evans wanted that, thought he got pushed on the shot.
That's the third on Evans.
That's a big foul, Jim. Not only does he not get the basket, but he picks up that over the back foul. And Evans is really important to this team as it goes down to the stretch with all his experience. He's going to have to sit.
And they'll bring in Tayshaun Prince, who again scored 8 points in relief in the first half. Duke advancing to the Final Four yet again, beating Temple in the East Final.
Good recognition by Peterson, realizing that Turner was shadowing Cleaves, couldn't get the ball back to the primary ball handler, so he took it over half court himself.
2 to tie, 3 for the first lead of the game for the Spartans.
McGlure now out there. Little mismatch. Cleaves can go by him. Nice.
Good give up. Smith converts. There he is.
That was a very smart play by Mateen Cleaves. He recognized on the switch McGlure came out on him, and Mateen just took him to the hole with superior quickness.
First time it's tied since 2-all.
And again, getting that ball down inside to make Kentucky be honest defensively.
McGlure to the hole and to the line now for 2.
Have you ever seen anybody turn around a season like this young man has in terms of not only defensively, where we knew he's one of the most prolific shot blockers in NCAA history, NCAA tournament history, but now he's starting to do it on the offensive end. And again, as I mentioned early in the first half, I think you front this guy and make him make tough catches. If he gets the ball down that low, he has a little drop step move to get a score.
McGlure is really evolving into some kind of leader here for Kentucky. I talked to him about it yesterday, and I think there's realization that with the moving on of these 3 seniors, Turner, Evans, and Padgett, that next year it'll be McGlure's role as team captain. Quite vocal and really coming on, as you said, Billy, here in the last month.
Well, he came on as a heralded recruit. Young man from Canada. The team just threw that up there to keep it alive, and there's Smith's strength.
Look at him wrap it around the pass to Cleves. Good fake from the line for the lead, and Michigan State, for the first time today, is in front.
Terrific job by Tom Izzo's club to come back when Kentucky had him almost in a knockout position early in this ball game.
It was 17-4 at the start.
And give a young man named Granger a lot of credit for bringing them back in that first half. They were in serious trouble. And with Evans on the bench, that was a critical third foul, because he's a guy you'd want on the floor right now if you're Tubby Smith.
Granger will come in on the next whistle for the Spartans. 7 on the shot clock, Turner and Cleves. Here's the matchup. Turner lost control of it. Cleves stood his ground.
He sure did, Jim. Excellent footwork defensively by Cleves. Turner wanted the crossover dribble, just wasn't there. I think Cleves is starting to get some offensive confidence, too, on his shot situation.
Peterson drives.
It's blocked by McGlure.
Retrieves. Back out. Bell left open. Cleves, they whip it around. Great passing. Peterson short.
That extra pass will always give you the wider open looking shot. Michigan State got what they wanted.
Padgett short. No spark for Kentucky. And they're down 1.
I think there's
inside. Hudson and Padgett reached around.
The spark, Jim, is sitting on the bench over there in Evans, who took them off. I think maybe Tubby's going to have to show us, does he have the courage to come back in with that big substitution pattern? What a pass.
Michigan State, with this basket, takes the lead for the first time today.
I'm going to raise you. Fold.
Too rich for me.
I fold.
Call. A couple of things to remember. 1, a full house always beats 3 of a kind. And 2, the new Chevy Silverado has the most powerful V8 of any pickup. Chevy Silverado. It's the truck.
Shut up.
Here I am at the University of Maryland, showing everyone the great taste of Pepsi One. How do you drink a Pepsi One?
Go, 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 go,
oh!
go, 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 go,
What did you think of the taste?
It was awesome!
It was awesome!
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
Yes, you can!
Pepsi One, a new secret formula, makes it taste too good to be called diet. They think the market's going to go up 20% next year. What are they?
Tickets, folks. I'm out.
I keep reading about tax-efficient investing.
Should I be doing that?
Everybody else seems.
Let's see. Rates are falling, inflation's low, more stocks or more bonds.
Hey. Oh, man.
This investment strategy is for you. Great. Just for me and 5 million other people.
Thank you, Weber.
All right, come on out of there. You're gonna have to do better than that, cop. Okay, I figure that there are 3 of you versus 300 of us. As for the building, we have assembled officers here, here, and here, as well as sharpshooters here and here. The sharpshooters. Where are they again?
Sometimes it's not just what you say, but how you say it. Kinko's. Express yourself.
From Russia with love.
The Late Late Show with Craig Kilborn premieres March 30th after Letterman. You never know who'll stop by.
Jim Nance with Billy Packer, Bonnie Bernstein in St. Louis. The Duke report card, straight A's, Billy. Well, no, wait a minute. Achilles heel, limited backcourt resources.
Well, remember the St. John's game that went into overtime. They had foul trouble on Avery, foul trouble on Trajan Langdon, and they really don't have what you would consider the traditional point guard backup situation. But like Rick Majerus said, and he's been really fun to listen to in that studio, he's already figuring out, hey, how do you play this team? They have such great balance, a lot of confidence. The coach has been there before. Great out of balance play, but it just didn't work. So the Duke is going to be, we all have known it, they're the team to beat. And so far, nobody's been able to, much less beat them, is stay close to them.
Prince draws the foul in the act of shooting. And again, the Blue Devils will take on the winner of this game. And the Blue Devils have beaten both Michigan State and Kentucky during the regular season. The Academic All-Stars recognize one player on each team for academic excellence. For tonight's game, the All-Stars are Jamal McGlure from Kentucky and Andre Hudson from Michigan State. Prince ties it with that one. You know, Scott Padgett was reflecting a few weeks back on Kentucky's 8 losses on the year, 28-8 overall, and he felt that they really had only lost one game. They should have won the rest, he said. The only game we lost was Duke. Yep. We played soft and we backed down to them that time. I know they, like Michigan State, would love that second chance. Prince gives Kentucky the lead back.
Good pass over the top. Nice recognition by Peterson. Jim, I wouldn't agree with Padgett on that. You know, I think that Tennessee took it to him, and I thought in Arkansas, I didn't see the game in Kentucky, but we had the game at Tennessee, and we had the game at Arkansas, and I'm not going to take anything away from those two teams. They beat Kentucky's on those days. But they weren't sloppy ball clubs either. It's not like they were beaten by teams that couldn't play. They've only played one Big Ten team this year. That was Indiana in December. They beat Indiana in overtime.
Peterson, jump stop, shot, no good. But look at him chase it down. Cleaves, he's open.
The team doesn't like to take that outside jump shot. He'd rather have to pump, fake, and drive.
Rangers, he's still perfect.
He got bombed.
Padgett.
Now, Jim, we
have the third on Padgett.
Huge problems for Kentucky. You've got 2 of their 3 key senior leaders in serious foul trouble. Evans has had to sit on the bench, and now it's going to be Padgett. He doesn't want to come out. This Kentucky team, this is the 5th straight year they've been in the regional final.
That's right. People forget in '95 they played North Carolina down in Birmingham.
Absolutely. And you know, they could be just as easily working on 3 straight national crowns.
That's right. And enough for Arizona
in overtime.
And Joe Granger, again, restricted in how much he can react, but enjoying every second of it.
It was interesting when his son heard about the accident. He knew that his father, who he says is kind of like a wild and crazy kind of guy, he said it didn't, now that they know that he's going to be okay, he said it didn't surprise him because his dad's a real risk taker.
It was a tough
Normally
month.
It's the other way around, where the father says, well, you know, I'm nervous about my son, you know.
But a tough month for the Granger family.
And his mother as well had an auto accident in November. But this young man is playing. He is having a great regional.
3 for 3 from the field, all threes, and now 3 for 3 from the line. Kentucky has gone 5 minutes without a made field goal.
And now look at that lineup on the floor. Only one normal starter. So this is an odd lineup for Kentucky. Normally, they'd have Hogan out there, but they keep Turner in the game.
Pick and roll to McGlure.
You know, it's amazing that Michigan State has played solid defense, but then they have huge breakdowns that lead to direct baskets. There was another example. Nobody helping out on the weak side against that pick and roll.
All tied at 46.
Boy, these two teams just mirror themselves in terms of how they want to play. Exactly what we expected. Nice hedge and recover.
7 on the shot clock. Cleaves knows it. 5 on the clock.
He almost likes that situation, but the ball didn't hit anything. He threw that up, Jim, in the idea that he's got a good rebounding team and they'd go get the ball. Unfortunately for him, Smith was not in the game.
Michigan State's first turnover in 13 minutes on the clock.
Now, where do the points come from in this lineup?
Prince gave him some in the first half, 8 in all.
McGlure wants it inside, and again, they're playing right behind him, giving him good position down low. Boy, a lot of banging.
Kamara backs down the defender and misses the chippy.
Oh, what? You see what Cleves
from the floor. From the floor.
On his back, made the play. I think Kentucky's got to figure out a way to bring either Evans or Padgett in the game to get some scoring in the game with 11 minutes to go. Take the chance they don't get into further foul trouble. But Tuffy Smith, he has got so much guts in terms of how he substitutes.
Underneath, another and Prince comes out with it.
Another block by McGlure.
Turner pushes it up. Back to Prince, who will drive. And then stalls. Got a timeout on the floor. It was a one-point game at halftime. And now it's all tied with 11 minutes left here in St. Louis and the final spot of the Final Four.
Morning, Frank. Morning.
How do you plan on funding your retirement? Conseco's annuities and mutual funds can help. Conseco, step up.
Cellular One, clear across America.
So, Murray, did you hear?
Found Nick across the way?
Yeah, got sprayed.
Didn't he just get sprayed?
Yeah, but didn't get the roots. Whatever got him this time was different.
I didn't think anything could take old Nick.
Hey, next time, it could be us.
Roundup, no root, no weed, no problem.
Chevy Tahoe, like a rock.
The final hole of the final round, and it's all in my hands. I need to sink this putt.
Mark O'Meara has won the Masters.
I won my first major here at Augusta. A tradition unlike any other. The Masters on CBS.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship is sponsored by Chevrolet Trucks, Gateway, Conseco, and by Honda Cycle.
Jim, we've talked so much about what a screener can do, and I want you to watch Jamal McGlure on this particular play. He's going to set a solid screen, and then watch how he opens up to the ball as the screener comes off. By opening up, he's able to see the good pass and roll to the basket. Now watch him open up to the ball. Perfect pass. Michigan State doesn't get there in time. Beautiful execution.
All right, Billy, let's send it over to Bonnie. Bonnie Bernstein.
Jim, coming out of the halftime, Izzo told me how disappointed he was with his team's rebounding. You see how much more aggressive they are under the boards. One of the reasons why they're tied with Kentucky, and there just happens to be a record-setting number of fans here today at the Trans World Dome to watch these two teams vie for a Final Four bid. 42,519 people here, largest crowd ever to watch an NCAA regional semifinal or final, Jim.
Wow, and it is loud in here. And Prince will go to the line for two. This building will be the site of the Final Four. Long way out, but it'll be here in 2005.
Michigan State content to play behind low post players from Kentucky. It gives you a perfect look to throw the ball down in low, and guys like Prince and McGlure have 2 to 3 inches over the guy that's normally guarding him. Kamara would likewise. I really think it'd be smart for Kentucky to go down inside, because there are 2 key outside shooters sitting on the bench right now in Evans and Padgett.
Prince, like Granger, perfect from the field and from the line. 3 for 3, 3 for 3.
And what Tom Izzo is trying to do is to give Antonio Smith some rest on that bench.
Turner saves it. What a save. Kamara lays it in. What a burst by Kentucky.
And check this defensive pressure. Full court pressure. Picking up. Forcing the ball into the corners. Great job by Kentucky.
I don't know how Turner stayed in the air long enough to save it.
He just kept going up and up and up, and those long arms finally grabbed the ball.
Hudson left free for an easy 2.
Nice job coming down on the baseline by Hudson. And Jim, remember you talked about what Padgett said about his fans. You notice how all of a sudden it's almost like a Kentucky home game when they get a run like that, as far as noise and support.
And away from the ball, Hudson and McGlure were battling for position underneath, and they got Hudson. Tonight on 60 Minutes, even though the jury said the mother wasn't guilty of murder, the Child Welfare Agency said she was. What's that all about? 60 Minutes tonight.
You know, when you look at starting positions, it's kind of interesting. Bradley and McGlure are the Kentucky center position. And when you take each one of them and break them down, it's not like they have great stats, but you put them together because that basically represents your 40 minutes. And combined, they've got 9.4 rebounds a game and about 17 points a game. Now that would be one fine player at the center position. So these 2 guys coordinate well down there.
McGlure hits the front end of a 1-and-1. It is a good combo, and you can imagine how much.
And 10 fouls.
But the physicality of McGlure's game, how much that's also improved Michael Bradley's development.
Right, and here's the press again. They're wanting the ball to go in the corner so they can trap. There it is. Bad place for the ball to be.
Up over to Peterson.
They wanted that ball to be passed exactly where they had good defensive pressure. Michigan State handled it. Look at Cleves settling everybody down. Kind of like he was the high school quarterback.
Granger. Nice. Rejected by McGlure, the second block of the game. Out to Klein. That's blocked by Allison, who breaks early. But into the arms of Peterson for 2.
Peterson, the leading scorer on this basketball team, right under 14 points a game. Can score inside, outside, get a full arsenal here, this young man.
Kentucky with a 2-point lead. 2 Giants colliding. What will give here in the end, in the final 9 minutes?
Walk.
Not called. Kamara too strong. Out to Cleves. Got a man breaking. It's Hudson. Hudson can tie it, and he'll go to the line. It's a block against Kentucky, against Allison.
How smart was that play by Hudson? The ball was passed to the point where if he'd have caught it on the fly, he would have had to catch it at his ankle. So instead, he just veered out a little bit and let the ball drop. See that? That was a terrific move on his part. He realized if he had to reach down for it, there's no way he was going to be able to convert the dribble.
You talked about Cleves being a high school quarterback. This man was too. He was the varsity starter as a freshman back in Ohio. Trotwood, Ohio is his hometown. And gave it up after his junior year. He had no passion for football, just wanted to concentrate on basketball, even though he had some interest expressed to his high school coach from the likes of Ohio State, Michigan State, Paterno and Penn State, and even Tennessee. Could have been on the football roster with Peyton.
You know, those kind of schools don't look at you if you can't play football. So you know he must have been some prospect.
Back into the game, Evans and Padgett for Kentucky, each with 3 fouls.
And there again, that confidence that Tubby has in that bench to keep 2 players so critical to his offense on the bench that long. Basically, he's got his starting lineup, Les Bradley, McGlure, who, like I said before, just like a starter out there.
Allison steps to the hole. Nice move. Back to a 3-point lead. Cleves pushes it forward. Evans caught up, and Kentucky's defense gets set.
I think Allison thought they were in the zone. Talking about zone defense.
Out to Granger. That's a 2. Granger's still perfect.
Boy, he is squaring up at the basket so beautifully. And these are not just lucky shots from a big man coming out into this ballgame. He did it the other day as well.
He leads the Spartan attack with 14.
Getting close to his season high of 16. He had that against Alabama.
Padgett with only 1 made field goal in this game.
It's one of his favorite spots.
Up ahead, there's the quarterback to quarterback combo, and Michigan State's back in front.
And a good hesitation by Hudson. That time Padgett fell asleep. He didn't get back for defensive balance.
Those used to go for 6 for Mateen Cleaves, but he'll take the 2 here as Michigan State leads with 7:15 remaining.
He'd have rather had the 6, Jim.
Evans lost it. That'll be a violation. Traveling. And a whistle on the floor, a timeout. Some might call it a home run. I'll call it a touchdown pass.
How about the catch wasn't bad either?
Worth, animator, knows good, knows evil, knows that having a formidable partner is definitely good. Chevy S10, like a rock.
Now 100% of the people can get on the internet. When you buy a Gateway Essential PC with an Intel Celeron processor starting at $1,299, we'll give you a year on the internet. Call, click, or come in. We know the internet is calling you.
Before we put you under, I just want you to know that I'll be prepping you for your eye lift and lip augmentation. Dr. Frank will be in charge of giving you that perfect nose you've always wanted.
My broker recommended it to me at 76. It's down to 52. I think I've lost almost as much as he's made.
Don't you wish everybody used Charles Schwab? With financial help that has to do with your goals, not our investment specialist's commission, because they're not on commission. Schwab, ready to move up?
Stuck with a flat tire? Not with this tire. Even with no air pressure, you drive to safety. Aqua Steel Run Flat. Don't get stuck. Get there.
Good year, good year.
Turner and Padgett have been silenced in the point production end with 6 total between the two of them. But you're loving that pass from Cleaves to Hudson.
Well, what's this guy in St. Louis? Tony Banks? Hey, maybe they want him right here. And look at this catch over the shoulder.
Is that Andre Hudson or Don Hudson?
There you go. And then the double pump finish. Really a nice catch, great pass, and of course Cleaves with that quarterback background, you know, knew how to lead him perfectly.
And Tony Banks, the quarterback of the Rams who plays in this building, number 12 from Michigan State, just like Cleaves.
But they're not too happy with him here, Dick Vermeil. He may be looking to be scouting Cleaves to dress him up, huh?
Well, he's only a junior. And at one time he thought he's
got nothing to do in the fall. Basketball doesn't start till December.
At one time he was almost talked into being the next Charlie Ward down at Florida State, playing the combo.
You know, you can be a pro in one sport and still be eligible amateur in another. So,
charge called. Their little call. And Evans, who had 3, boy, that stood in there.
That would have been a big one.
We know this. Game 1 at the Final Four will be Ohio State and Connecticut. We've got a 4 and 2 1s already set. Will it be another one? That'll be the 3rd time we've had 3 1 seeds make it to the Final Four.
Let me throw one out at you there, Jim. The incredible year Jim O'Brien has, Coach of the Year in the Big Ten. He has lost 18 straight times to Jim Calhoun.
Yep.
18 straight. Of course, that was at BC and Connecticut when he was back in the Big East. I don't think he'll concern himself about that, though.
Pass stolen and a hold on Kentucky. And for the Cats, that's their 15th foul, 2 away from the 1-on-1. That's the 4th on Evans.
Now he's going to have to sit, bring him back here with about 3 minutes to go.
For Kentucky, number 21, Tayshaun Prince, back into the game.
Boy, that name, Strong Warrior, really fits Evans, doesn't it? It's just incredible.
That is the translation for Hashimu. Strong Warrior, and it's going to take 5 of those on one side. 5 strong mental warriors. They both pride themselves in conditioning. McLaurin was boasting yesterday that we're the fittest team in America, and we're going to show that tomorrow, meaning today.
Boy, I'll tell you, Michigan State was really lucky there. Great hands by Smith.
And McLaurin rejects it. Came up from behind.
That is his 34th block in NCAA tournament play.
Outside, a hold called against State.
Perfect timing by McLaurin. Look at those huge hands go up there and get that ball.
Looks like Ken Johnson of the Buckeyes yesterday. What a game he stepped up to play yesterday to help Ohio State knock out St. John's.
Yeah, just when you thought that where are they going to get their scoring from, anywhere other than in the backcourt, Johnson was terrific. And then on defense, he had 7 blocks in that game.
Hudson in for Granger. Scott Padgett, who has been sizzling in this tournament, always in the late going. Who can forget 1 week ago at this time against Kansas, missing the front end of a 1-on-1.
And there's Cleaves with his Scooney Penn impression, with the guard getting another rebound.
And as you pointed out in the first half, one of the top 5 free throw shooters in NCAA tournament history. Fails to convert on the front end of a 1-on-1. Down 1. Cleaves, that's a 3. Yes.
He only makes them when they count.
That's right before the half to beat the buzzer.
Sometimes he throws up air balls and bad-looking bricks. And when it gets tight, he just locks in with that unusual shot of his.
Spartans with their largest lead.
To be the champ, you got to beat the champ. And here comes the champ hanging in.
And the champs missed 2 lay-ins into the corner to Cleaves. Oh.
Tough break for Kentucky. Had exactly what they wanted. Turner is usually such a good finisher when he gets down inside.
Peterson put on the line. 2-pointer.
Kentucky needs the timeout. They need the timeout, Jim. Yep, and Tubby's going to take it. Tom Izzo goes crazy. Jim, these two guys both coached under J.D. Barnett. Tubby played for J.D. Barnett in college at High Point, and then was his assistant, and so was Tom Izzo at Tulsa.
Mrs. Faree is teaching geometry at Maxwell Middle School.
And when I get to school, I have kids actually waiting at my door.
They're making designs using Microsoft PowerPoint that they turn into mosaics on the school's picnic tables.
Everything that they learn is something they can use in real life, and then you can make it grow. And
technology is helping these kids develop the skills they will need in life.
I hope that the kids don't just say, "You were my favorite teacher." They say, "I learned something from you."
Hi there. Can we get you anything?
Oh, no, I'm fine.
Are you enjoying your stay, sir? Ah, you're on vacation, huh?
No business, but the Best Western for a seminar.
Isn't that still going on?
Workshops today. I slipped out the back. Boss is never going to know I spent all day on the beach. You're not going to tell him, are you?
Can we get you some lotion?
Lotion? I'm tougher than that.
Okay, babe. Here we go. Now, move over to the right. No, the other way, my right. A little more. A little more. Perfect.
How was it?
Beautiful.
If
If you think the Cavalier looks good, wait till you know it can go up to 100,000 miles before its first scheduled tune-up. Chevy Cavalier. The more you know, the better it looks. Genuine Chevrolet.
Bud Light.
Aren't you forgetting something?
Oh, my wallet.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light.
Oops, I'll get it.
After a tough day at work, there's nothing like a good rub down. From your mother, everybody loves Raymond. CBS Monday.
The arrow belongs to Kentucky. Michigan State with the largest lead the Spartans have had all day, 6 points. And look up into the stands.
Well, if we could get this guy, whoever he is, to get out of the way, we'd see this guy right back here.
Sit down.
Yeah, get this guy to sit out of the way here, because there's
that man
Tom
back
Izzo's
there.
father.
That is Carl Izzo.
Who is this guy anyway?
I don't know.
Huh?
And there's Lupe, Tom Izzo's wife. There's only one person that's not in the building that Tom wishes could be here today, and that's his best friend, Steve Mariucci.
Well, he was here the other day. He got him through one game.
Had to get back for a meeting in California. If they make it there, he'll be at the Final Four. Best friends since their childhood, best man at each other's wedding, roommates in college at Northern Michigan University.
Huge possession here for Kentucky, and they deliver.
McGlure with a soft touch. There's Mariucci up until 3:30 in the morning Friday night, helping Tom Izzo break down Kentucky film.
Maybe he should have had a little better defense on that long pass.
Well, I think overall that must have worked pretty well.
That must have been his offensive structure he was working on. Oh, from behind.
Allison almost tipped it away.
Similar to that play yesterday on Barkley.
Let's check the CBS Sports Line stat of the game. With 4 minutes remaining. Field goal percentage is pretty even. For complete tournament coverage, go to CBS Sports Line.
One of his wicked solid screens.
Leaves with a rare miss late. Now basket away. There's going to be a Kentucky foul here.
That's going to be McGlure on Smith, who had such perfect rebounding position inside. You know, Jim, and Tom Izzo is so proud of Smith in terms of he was really the start of his program. Came from Flint when it really wasn't the thing to do, and has really been the guy that's recruited the others as well.
From Flint Northern High School, where Smith was a teammate with Mateen Cleaves. So that's a combo that goes back to the start of the 90s.
Right, state championship ball club.
Peterson wants it to the corner. He gives it Bell. 3.
Excellent decision by Peterson, and Bell, who has not taken many shots, but has been very efficient in this tournament. You can see the confidence being picked up here by Michigan State.
It was on this day a year ago where Kentucky earned the moniker the Comeback Cats, and they will have to do it again today. Down 7 with 3.5 remaining. A year ago, they came back from 17 down with 9.5 to play against Duke, and look at Turner.
To be the champs, you got to beat the champs. It's play after play after play.
Timeout, Michigan State.
Time for Evans to come back in the game. So those seniors, Jim, are going to go out swinging, if they go out at all.
Just a 22nd timeout called by State. Monday on CBS. You want to have somebody tell it like it is on Monday nights? Well, this is your man, Ted Danson. Becker, Monday at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, right here on CBS. Tom Izzo. Judd owes so much to this man for his career. Look at him. He's all worked up. Judd Heathcote.
Well, wasn't it interesting? You know, he had Coach Kelvin Sampson, who was Izzo's, and also Izzo, of course, as assistant coach under Judd.
Their counterparts on Friday night.
In the previous game. And as I mentioned, J.D. Barnett had a real impact on Tubby Smith because he was his college coach, and then also Tubby was an assistant for him. And then when Tom Izzo left Michigan State to go down to Tulsa, he also was an assistant under J.D. at Tulsa.
They break the press, and they get the layup from Bell.
That quarterback is throwing some touchdown TDs.
Charlie and Bell, parents of The Spartan guard savoring that moment. On the blocks, McGlure lost control of it. And Bell with the rebound.
Now, I think Kentucky's got to start thinking some three-point shooting here, Jim. They're going inside. A lot of time on the clock, but they're starting to get a little margin separating these two teams.
They got to free up Padgett. He's made only one field goal, but none since 11 minutes to go in the first half.
And even though Michigan State doesn't have the experience of tournament, I guarantee you the experience of playing in that tough Big Ten this year is really helping them now.
Hold on. He stepped once too many times. So traveling on Cleaves.
He's fearless when he penetrates inside, and he's got all that strength. It's miraculous that he is out here today after that incredible collision with Nahara of Oklahoma the other night.
Well, last Sunday, Kentucky was down 5 with 1:09 to go in regulation to Kansas.
Well, they're penetrating,
but not able to finish. Allison almost makes the swipe. Kentucky ball.
Now, what is happening is Kentucky's sending 5 guys to the boards offensively. What Michigan State's doing is releasing guys like Bell. If they get the rebound, they're going to have an easy 2 on the other end. Matter of fact, they should not try to catch the ball. They should just bat it down the other way. They'll find they'll have a man wide open.
Wayne Turner, three-pointer. Ball batted around and into the arms of Hudson, and a reach in on Turner. It'll be a 1-and-1.
Great effort by both teams there going down the wire.
1:54 remaining. Will we have 2 Big Ten teams at the big dance like we did in Seattle in '89 and also back in the 70s? Remember that one, Billy, in '76.
76 is the first time that 2 teams from the same conference ever played for the championship game. Indiana and Michigan. That year, Indiana had beaten Michigan twice in the regular season. And that, you know, another interesting thing about 76, 2 undefeated teams came to the Final Four that year, Rutgers and Indiana. Last undefeated team we've had in college basketball.
Missing the front end of the 1-on-1. There have been other conferences that have delivered multiple teams. The ACC, the Big East, of course, with 3 in '85. Kentucky trying to make a 4th straight trip to the Final Four. They'll send Padgett to the line.
One of the things interesting, Peterson's got good size and wingspan to take away that outside shot that Padgett so dearly wants to put up.
It's going to be hard to take that uniform off Scott Padgett. Will it be today or will it be saved for at least a week? As his family will tell you, he's going to miss this whole experience, perhaps more than most, because he just dreamt of being a Wildcat as a little boy. It's his dream as long as he could remember. Thanks to this man, really, Wilbur, his father.
Well, they look so much alike, you think he keeps changing uniforms up in the stands. And
saw his fiancee Cynthia praying for a moment.
Boy, he's come up short twice on the free throws, and we talked about him up there with the elite in free throw shooting NCAA tournament play. Bell, not the primary ball handler, needs to get that ball to Cleave somehow.
Drive fakes, and Turner prevented maybe a layup.
And Jim, with 1:29 to go, let's put in perspective what Kentucky has done since '95. They are 31-2 in postseason play. 20-1 in NCAA tournament play since 1995.
And the only loss again in the title game to Arizona in Indianapolis in '97. A.J. Granger. He was the man who almost single-handedly brought him back from 13 down in the first half.
Absolutely. I mean, you had Klein not hitting anything, getting nothing out of Smith offensively, and Granger came off the bench with those key jump shots. He walked.
Life for Kentucky.
But Jim, I think they've got to be figuring out a way to set some solid screens to free up Padgett or maybe Prince from the outside. Now they got Saul Smith in there. We know Smith can hit a 3. He's coming out of the game right now, however. Could be Turner on penetration and kick back out. But they got to figure out a way to free up somebody for a good look from 3.
Prince has been hot today. Turner now inside and outside. They call the foul on Michigan State.
Well, here is what is something that Michigan State cannot afford to do, and that is foul to stop the clock and allow Kentucky to get points on the board with the clock stopped.
And it's double bonus the rest of the way, too.
Tubby Smith, who has been absolutely phenomenal in postseason play. Right now he ranks next to Mike Krzyzewski in percentage of active coaches.
15 and 4. You add in the Tulsa and Georgia years where he took both programs to the Sweet 16. Turner with 2. Wayne Turner, the most experienced college basketball player of all time. Played more games than anyone, 151, including today, breaking Christian Laettner's mark last week.
Jim, I didn't realize till doing some research during the evening that he was 2 steals away from breaking the all-time steal record for NCAA tournament play behind Grant Hill.
Padgett was in there, but unable to get it.
They've missed some key free throws.
3-on-1 ahead to Hudson. And a battle on the floor.
You touched the ball out of bounds. It's white ball.
Well, they say Turner touched the ball and knocked it out of bounds. No foul.
No, actually,
Michigan State ball.
Jim, actually, his foot was out of bounds while he was touching the ball, so it goes over to Michigan State.
Still a good defensive play for Kentucky. Wildcats were not back, pressing at the other end. 1:04 to go. Almost an identical situation to a week ago.
I didn't understand why the shot clock didn't get changed.
A week ago, it was 5 down with 1:09.
Clock down to 20 seconds. Smith and McGlure battling out here to try to set the solid screen. Cleaves wants to drive. A 1-4 set here.
This possession may tell it all. Cleaves gives it up, and Michigan State converts.
He is so difficult to handle in the 1-4 because of that power of his. As Padgett wanted the screen for the jumper.
Long range throw. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? In an instant timeout. 31.1 to go. It's down to 4.
Don't you love guys that want to take the big shot? Cleaves wanted to take the play. Padgett wanted to play.
Will they re-earn the name Comeback Cats? 99 style. Michigan State by 4.
You spend your days, and probably more evenings than you'd care to admit, trying to align your company's strategies with process and technology, and managing risks to your global operations. At Arthur Andersen, we can help you make those kinds of decisions. And that just might free you up enough to take care of something that's really important. Arthur Andersen, helping in ways you never imagined.
Worth, animator, knows good, knows evil, knows that having a formidable partner is definitely good. Chevy S10, like a rock.
Hey, let's talk New York. Let's talk big, like the new Big New Yorker from Pizza Hut. It's a genuine street corner 16-inch New York style pizza with 8 big floppy foldable slices that's really, really good at a price that's very un-New York, $9.99. The Big New Yorker pizza from Pizza Hut.
As an architect, I think if it can be imagined, it can be built. Dell has the same philosophy, only they didn't just imagine what we needed, they found out. Before they built our servers and workstations and had them installed, they came to see us around the world. Dell pioneered this direct way. They aren't selling me a box, they're selling a smarter way.
Be direct. Dell. Dell workstations use Intel Pentium 3 processors.
Rent-A-Car, because our car is sick.
Enterprise will arrange to pick you up.
Wow!
Drive you to our place and get you on your way.
Everybody loves to be picked up.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
4 dedicated doctors.
We have multiple injuries, 2 children and 3 adults.
1 sick city.
I want Viagra.
And all new LA Doctors. CBS Monday.
Tonight on 60 Minutes, well, it leads off the lineup, then Touched by an Angel, and then the Sunday movie Grumpy Old Men, Jack Lemmon, Walter Matthau, and Ann Margaret Starr. Kentucky has the arrow, and each side with 2 timeouts, 2 20s, that is, for the Wildcats. Scott Padgett hits an improbable 3 for the second straight Sunday.
Jim, it's very interesting. Smith takes the ball out of bounds. Cleaves farther away from the ball than any other player, but he's the guy they'd like to touch it.
Peterson in traffic and guarded too closely.
Now, one of the things we ought to talk about now, if it's going to be a free throw shooting contest, it really favors Michigan State as a team this year. One of the things you look for of teams that can become national champions, they shoot 73%. The man going to the line, Peterson, 81%. They've got a lot of good free throwers. That was an interesting setup by Michigan State, having Cleaves as far away from the ball as possible, looking to be the comeback man.
McGlower back in for Kentucky. They are a good free throw shooting team. This man over 81%. However, seldom do you face free throw situations with more pressure than this. A spot on the Final Four on the line. This a 1-and-1.
And what was so important there, Jim, you get into the matter of arithmetic. How many possessions do you need? You know, with just a 4-point lead, they're in a situation they didn't have to take the 3. Now they've got to take a 3 and a 2, and he may make it that they can only take 3s. Kentucky has to shoot 3. They've got to shoot a 3.
25 seconds to go. Smith outside.
Taking too much time.
Big man on Padgett, but he still fires again. Oh, Scott Padgett. It's down to 3.
Well, we saw a great battle between Scott Padgett, Wally Serviak, and some of the outstanding senior players, but boy, they just don't like to go out, and this guy squares it up again to hit a big shot. Wasn't it just a week ago? Huh?
As we said, they're going to have a hard time ever taking that uniform off Scott Padgett.
Perfect rotation, great follow through, and the big thing is he wanted the ball.
And immediately, as he did the time before, immediately he signals the timeout.
And Jim, we're getting down to that time now where I think if you're Michigan State, you don't let them shoot 3s. You foul them.
Well, one other thing to note here, 18 fouls on Kentucky, so it's still a 1-on-1 situation at the other end.
And again, watch what Cleaves does on this out of bounds. Kentucky's going to try to double team in the corners, and here comes Peterson.
Just made 2. Are they going to foul him again? Yes, they do. So Peterson will face another 1-and-1. 16.2 remaining.
And how big is this? Because you know what Kentucky's wanting to do. They want to come down and shoot quickly and foul. So Kentucky's looking at this as at least a 2 and maybe even a 3 possession type game, even though there's only 16 seconds to go.
Come on, baby, she says. Mother Valerie.
Well, when you read stories about the connection between Morris and his mom, it's really tight. She's been so critical to his development.
She's a teacher, his father a principal. And now the student, 1-and-1.
Oh, perfect follow through. Young man that wasn't heavily recruited. Well, he's making that scholarship pay off now. Evans comes in with the instructions from Tubby Smith.
On the brink of tears from the stands. Peterson again. 5-point game, 16 seconds to go.
Padgett going down to get in position to pop out for the jump shot. There he goes.
Turner forces it.
I'm surprised.
Rebound out to, that's touched by Evans. Michigan State ball. A timeout, a full timeout, Michigan State. And this is what college basketball is all about. 5 seconds remain.
This is how Dale Earnhardt Jr. fans will remember the 1998 NASCAR Busch Series champion. This is how his opponents will remember him.
Seeing nothing but the tail lights.
Get the parts that power Dale Earnhardt Jr. AC Delco. If you're not asking for it, you're asking for it.
Have I been a good husband? Have I taught my children the right things? And have I learned from what they've taught me?
We each measure success in our own way. Now Dean Witter and Morgan Stanley have joined to provide a world of investment advice on a personal level.
Have I done the best I could? Yes, I believe I have.
Morgan Stanley, Dean Witter. We measure success one investor at a time.
Through this door is the power to make the internet come to life. Introducing the Pentium 3 processor. Don't just get onto the internet, get into it. Find out how at Intel.com.
It's the most powerful custom on the planet. 6 cylinders. 6 carbs. 1,520 cc's. Only one motorcycle in the world can cruise like this. The Valkyrie from Honda. During custom finance days, get 5.9 APR on new Valkyries.
Even though the jury said she wasn't guilty of murder, the Child Welfare Agency said she was. What's that all about? 60 Minutes tonight.
5.6 seconds away from the completion of a dream. Michigan State's possession and a 5-point lead. About to knock out the champs. Lupe Izzo. Paget reaches in, and it's Peterson again to the line. A reminder, 60 Minutes coming up next, except for those of you on the West Coast. Boy, can you imagine how everyone in Iron Mountain, Michigan, just swelling with pride right now in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Tubby Smith about to suffer his first NCAA tournament loss at Kentucky after 9 wins.
There'll be some more, Jim.
2 for Peterson.
Wins, I'm talking about, for that many. You know, and you think, you know what a classy individual he was. I think Mike Jarvis set the stage for all losing coaches yesterday. I mean, one of the most gracious guys, great competitors. His team didn't play like he wanted to, but showed so much class yesterday in a losing cause.
He always does. He's a poet, Mike Jarvis. 5 seconds remain. We say so long to Wayne Turner, Hashimu Evans, Scott Paget, and the Kentucky Wildcats. The magic is back at Michigan State. The Spartans are going to the Final Four.
To be the champ, you got to beat the champ, and they were able to do it.
State of excellence for sure. A 22nd straight win. And thanks for the memories by that man. Bonnie Bernstein, take it away.
You're up with about 5 seconds left. When did you really think this game was at hand?
With about 5 seconds left, Bonnie. I was nervous the whole way. I give my guys a lot of credit. They really played hard and battled back after the big deficit at the beginning.
How much more aggressive did they seem in the second half? You seemed unhappy with their defensive play and their rebounding when you came out after the first half.
Well, I thought we did a lot better job. We had 1 possession. We had 4 in a row offensive rebounds. We checked better. We just did a better job, Bonnie.
I want to give you time to enjoy this, but you know you do have Duke ahead of you now.
That's fine. I don't care. I'm just going to enjoy today. I'm going to enjoy today.
Tom, congratulations.
Thank you.
Michigan State goes to their first Final Four since 1979.
Enjoy it, savor it. Tom Izzo, you're going to join now Ohio State, Connecticut, and Duke. The Final Four is all set. The Chevrolet players of the game. Tayshaun Prince from Kentucky, perfect from the field and from the line today, and Morris Peterson from Michigan State, as the Spartans have spoiled the hopes of a Wildcat wrecking crew. For Billy Packer and Bonnie Bernstein here in St. Louis, Greg Clark and Rick in New York, this is Jim Nance saying so long from the Trans World Dome, where Michigan State has advanced to the Final Four. Oh, what a feeling it is. Folks, we'll see you in St. Pete. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports, home of the 1999 Men's NCAA Basketball Championship.
Don't get me started on stockbrokers. I had one for the better part of 10 years. Let me tell you something. The only one who was broker was me. With Ameritrade, it's so simple. I sit down at my computer. I want to execute a trade. A couple of clicks, trade goes through. $8 a trade. My stockbroker said you're going to hate online trading. You can add that to the long list of things he was wrong about.
Call toll-free 888-537-8320 or visit Ameritrade.com. Ameritrade, the way to trade, period.
Incredible. The readings are off the charts.
Stuck with a flat tire? Not with this tire. Even with no air pressure, you drive to safety. Aquasteel Run Flat. Don't get stuck. Get there.
Applicants wanted. High-tech jobs. Window offices. No experience necessary.
Capture this year's championship excitement for years to come by reserving your copy of the official 1999 NCAA Final Four program. The official program includes detailed information on your favorite teams, players, and coaches. Available now for only $14, you can relive this year's excitement forever without ever leaving your living room. Visit us at www.final4.net or call 1-800-313-4678. Price includes shipping and handling. Get into the action today before it's history.
When I go to college, I'm going to go to UConn. I'm going to be the next Rebecca Lobo.
Yeah, well, I'm going to Kansas. I'm going to be a star, just like my man, Ryan Robertson.
I'm headed for Tennessee. I'm going to be the next Shamiqua Holds-Clark. Hey, what's the big deal about college basketball anyway? Because if it happens to my team, someday it might happen to me.
My dentist says this gum is working, cleaning dirty plaque.
Gets teeth whiter, too.
Whiter teeth, kissable brat.
Arm & Hammer gum with baking soda reduces plaque up to 25% and gets teeth whiter.
This gum does it all. I knew that.
Arm & Hammer gum.
Craig Kilborn, coming to CBS March 30th.
This portion of NCAA basketball is brought to you by your local Ford store.
It's time to get out and play. Now get $1,000 cash back or 0.9% APR financing on Ford Ranger or 4.9% APR on F-Series. Improve your outside game in a tough Ford truck.
For 0.9 financing or $1,000 cash back on Ranger, visit your local Ford store today.
Do you believe the old way of buying gas is dead? We do. Introducing Speed Pass from Mobil. It's the fastest way to get gas. Just wave it past the pump. And like magic, you're gone. Speed Pass, only at Mobil, lets you take wing.
Dan, you look good. Lost weight?
Cut the act, Phil. I need to tell management what's happening with our website.
Okay.
In terms they can understand.
Every buck we spend will earn $2 back by the end of the year.
TV.
You know what finally convinced me that this could work?
Half a dozen wine coolers.
When everyone is watching.
Oh, wow. Not the best angle.
Anything can happen.
It's my boyfriend's brother on television.
Good twist.
From director Ron Howard.
Yeah, Doc. Yeah, I'd stop payment on the plugs. You gave me doll hair.
The breakthrough comedy of the year.
Ed, you okay? Oh!
Ed TV, rated PG-13, at theaters Friday.
CBS Monday, it's Becker on hunting.
Makes you feel more like a man to blow Bambi's head off, knock yourself out.
Ted Danson is Becker. CBS Monday.
A woman stands trial for the murder of her 2-year-old son. It was an accident, she says. A jury believes her and she is found not guilty. But a child welfare agency convinces a judge in another court that despite that verdict, she is guilty. The court seizes her other children and may take all future children from her. Is it fair? Is it just?
Everyone in this case who has looked at it now and looked at it then says that this is one of the great injustices of all time.